G'day guys, how's it going? I'm Az Whitnell, this is As a World Sport, and wow! What a weekend of Premier League football. This was, without a doubt, the best weekend of the Premier League season so far. And I got to be honest, I do not know where to start. Because, you had, obviously, Bournemouth's incredible comeback against Liverpool. We had Manchester United dropping points at Everton. We had Leicester losing again. Spurs hammering Swansea. Arsenal Alexis Sanchez destroying West Ham. But I think we have to start with what was, going into the weekend, the biggest game of the weekend. And what is arguably the best game of the season. Well, actually, it was until Sunday, and then that Liverpool game happened, and that was pretty spectacular. All right, contender for game of the season. It's Manchester City versus Chelsea, the top of the table clash. And, oh, wow, City, did you balls up this one? I'm sorry, I know Chelsea got all 3 points, but how? You guys destroyed them. All the possession, incredible chances. What? How did Kevin De Bruyne miss that? Seriously? I mean, wow. Seriously, that is worse than I think any miss I've ever seen on a Sunday league football pitch. Damn. Oh, it was awkward. But, hey, Chelsea, to their credit, wow. Talk about take your chances. Because as much as you guys were dominated by City, and it was a real one-sided performance, you guys, second half, pulled it out the bag, and what a turnaround it was. I mean, let's just talk about Diego Costa for a second, right? He only had something like 11 touches in the opposition half. And obviously 3 of those touches were his chest, chest over Otamendi, bam, knocking it into the back net. Oof! Wow, that was awesome. And Costa this season, without a shadow of a doubt, has got to be one of the best strikers in the world. He's back on form, and so is Eden Hazard. But it does make you wonder where Chelsea would be without those two. Because they're just so far ahead of... I'll say it's a bit hard. They are so far ahead of everyone else in the squad, actually. I'm going to say that. Because they are the 2 players that really make it tick for Chelsea. Obviously, after the fantastic comeback Chelsea had, Willian, lovely finish. Hazard just, he just oozes class when he's on form like this. Almost unplayable. But obviously it was then ended with some quite horrible scenes. I mean, as much as I love, and I think anyone who loves football loves watching Sergio Aguero play as a striker. He's got a phenomenal record. It's something like in his last 34 games, he's got 33 goals. But when you look at that tackle he did on David Luiz, that is disgusting, and there is no place for a tackle like that in football. And I don't know what the issue is with David Luiz. Obviously, they've both had some, clashes in the past, to put it that way. But clearly, there's something a little bit deeper going on here that might be a bit more personal. And I'm not just saying it's a Brazil-Argentina rivalry. I'm saying something serious, because that could have seriously ended David Luiz's career. And Aguero deserves his ban, and it's quite sad to say that because he's a class player, but you would expect better from Sergio Aguero. And obviously it's not the first time this season that he's done something controversial like this. Obviously the elbow against Winston Reid. So, yeah, Aguero's not a happy man this season, safe to say, based on the challenges he's making anyway. And then obviously we saw Fernandinho and Fabregas. That was just stupid. Let's face it, Fabregas was a bit play acting. Fernandinho, you're the idiot, you fell for it. I mean, why you decided to really go in on him, God knows. But, tempers flared, City were frustrated, and, yeah, you were made to look like mugs in your own backyard, which is never good. So, yeah, you're going to have to bounce back from that. But I still think, even though this was the biggest game going into the weekend, it is a contender for game of the season. There was also another contender for game of the season that happened on the Sunday, and that was Bournemouth versus Liverpool. And, woohoo! Comeback of comebacks this season, without doubt, because Liverpool went 2-0 up through Mane and a fantastic finish from Divock Origi from a very, very tight angle, and then boom, Bournemouth get a penalty. On comes Frazier, having the game of his life, wins a penalty, gets an assist, scores a goal. Woof! What a half an hour to have. Brings Bournemouth back into it 2-1. Then Emre Can, cracking finish into the top corner. Boom, 3-1, you think that's it, game over. No way, Bournemouth are going to come back. 3 quick goals in the final 10 minutes. And it was just fantastic to watch. And you know what, Bournemouth, I really like Bournemouth as a club. They are so nicely run. They've got a great manager. They've got some great young players. And it's great to see them doing well. And I don't think they're going to struggle at all this season. They've already won 2 more games at this stage last season than they had last season. This was their first win ever over Liverpool in the club's history. And what a way to get a win over Liverpool. I mean, that is something that you're never going to forget. So yeah, fantastic. Well done, Bournemouth. Liverpool, if you're going to win the Premier League, you cannot throw away 3-1 leads like that. Seriously. I know you're missing Matip and I know you're missing Coutinho, but your team... your strike force is better than that. All right, your defence is still shaky, especially without Matip. And yeah, the goalkeeper didn't cover himself in any glory. But, you know, I think it was just a very bad day at the office. But you can't allow that to happen again. And I imagine Klopp would have been fuming at full time. So I wouldn't have wanted to be in that dressing room. So, yeah, obviously we saw 2 absolute crackers. Now on to a couple of absolute rampages from Tottenham and Arsenal. I mean, they destroyed Swansea and West Ham. But I'm going to start with Arsenal because Alexis Sanchez, people keep saying Eden Hazard and Kevin De Bruyne are the best players in the Premier League right now. I think it is Alexis Sanchez. I think he is absolutely phenomenal. And he scored the most disgusting hat-trick in terms of awesomeness I've seen in recent years in the Premier League. I mean, his first goal, the way he turned, the way he held off the defender and shot into the far bottom corner. Ooh, damn, that was impressive. And then the backlift for the second goal. Just ping, off it goes, bottom corner, thank you very much. Game is out of sight. He'd already set up Ozil in the first half as well. Ruined West Ham. But of course, I know it was offside, but you cannot take away that finish for his hat-trick goal. The little step over, inside step over, to dummy the keeper was just... If Messi or Ronaldo had done that, we've been talking about it for years and years and years and years and years because it was that good. And Sanchez, for me, proved that he's without doubt Arsenal's best player, but for me, he's the best player in the Premier League. He's now the only player ever to score a hat-trick in Serie A, La Liga and the Premier League, which is pretty impressive. And so far this season, in the 19 games he's played, he's scored 12 goals and he has 8 assists. It's very, very impressive. He is on fire. And it makes you wonder, why didn't Wenger try this sooner? Because at the moment, Sanchez could yet fire Arsenal to the title. I know Chelsea are running away with it at the moment, but we are still only 14 weeks into the Premier League season, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens now that all of the fixtures are starting to tighten in and together over the Christmas period. And it makes you wonder who's going to be top come New Year's Day. Now, on to Tottenham, who bounced back in style because they destroyed Swansea at the Lane. Now, Dele Alli, yes, you went down very, very easily. Don't like to see that. Don't do it again. You are better than that. You are quality. You have the potential to become world class. I don't think you're there yet, but you're better than that. Keep the diving out of your game, okay? Because you don't need it at the end of the day. Your quality. Harry Kane, though, what a week for him. Signs a new contract for Spurs. 2 goals on the weekend. And yeah, Tottenham were cruising. They're back with a bang. And yeah, you got to wonder how Man United are going to deal with them next week, because Man United are in a bit of a mess at the moment. Now, don't get me wrong, they have been playing so well in recent weeks. They have been so unlucky in recent weeks, but this week, you screwed it up. It's your own fault. I've said for ages that Fellani is not good enough to play for Manchester United. All right, and I imagine that in January he will be sold to Sunderland because David Moyes is there, David Moyes rates him, all that lot. He is not Manchester United quality. I thought it showed, especially when United played City at home earlier on this season. He could barely get a touch on the ball. He just looked out of place, and he does whenever he comes on for United. He has had his odd good game, and he has scored the odd goal, but that still doesn't count. And I mean, I am just amazed that this man at the weekend against Everton reached his 100th appearance for a club like Manchester United. It is shocking. Because if Fellani can get in the Man United team, then so can, well, there's got to be players in the lower leagues that can break into Premier League sides, like especially young English players as well, because he's not that good. I'm sorry, Fellani, obviously you are a Premier League standard player, but for me, you're more of a mid-table Premier League player. And how the likes of Schweinsteiger have been left out over players like Fellani, baffles me entirely, because Schweinsteiger is arguably a legend of the game in terms of what he's achieved, especially at Bayern Munich, especially for Germany. He'll be a German legend anyway, but how someone as professional as Schweinsteiger as well, you want a game closed out for the last 5 minutes. You throw on someone like that who's not even in the squad. I know that he came in against West Ham, but to be left out again at the weekend, it's just embarrassing. And Jose, seriously, you are a better manager than that. And why you are making those decisions, I will never know. Because when you came to Man United, it really felt like United were on the verge of something big. But some of your decisions this season have shown that maybe they've gone in the wrong direction. And maybe, just maybe, if things don't start to turn around soon, they should have given the job to Ryan Giggs. Because it makes me wonder, Giggs, I think he's a bit more laid back than Jose, not as controversial, but I think he would have realised that people like Carrick and Schweinsteiger and Mata, as I've mentioned Carrick and Mata before, Mata again didn't play at the weekend, United dropped points again when Mata is not in the team, even though Carrick obviously was. But with those players, it makes you wonder if he would have utilised them more because of the way that the stats show how well they work for United, how well United perform when those players are around, and also the experience that they bring to the side. Now, don't get me wrong, United were in control of this game. Ibrahimovic has now got 12 goals this season. For a 35-year-old, that is phenomenal. He has proven that he's world-class. It's a shame he didn't come to the Premier League sooner because he's becoming Manchester United's Didier Drogba. And, I mean, all right, he was gifted the goal, really, from the Everton goalkeeper, but still, it's a shame that United threw the game in the way in which they did. One other really good point for Manchester United, even though obviously the result was disappointing, you're 13 points off of the Premier League title now, so that's gone. Unless a miracle happens and United really do kick into gear. Because I do feel at some point, United are a ticking time bomb. They're going to play someone and they are going to absolutely destroy them at some point soon. And it's going to be ridiculous. And everyone's going to be like, oh, wow, that's been coming for a while. And it's not going to shock anyone because they have been playing well. But Henrik Mkhitaryan looks amazing. And I really hope he gets to start more from this point on. And it's going to be interesting to see if they can bring him, Mata, Pogba, Carrick, Ibra all in together. I still think Carrick and Schweinsteiger, they could easily rotate. Obviously, because of their ages, they can bounce off of each other, really come in and slot in. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out from now. But it's not looking good for Man United. However, it could still be worse. And we had this again last week. You could be Leicester. You could be the first Premier League champions to get relegated the season after. Wake up, please. It is embarrassing. You got beaten by Sunderland. And yes, I know Sunderland are on a good run. But come on. You are better than that. It's embarrassing. And I know you're doing well in the Champions League, but you are... It's so annoying to see you guys playing this way when everyone knows how good you are. And something needs to happen. I know that Okazaki keeps coming on as a sub and scoring. Why don't you try starting him a bit more? Vardy's obviously having a dry run. Might be an idea to give him a bit of a rest. You know, Mahrez hasn't shown up this season. Slimani's scoring for you guys, but something just doesn't quite seem to be happening chemistry-wise. In the Premier League anyway, in the Champions League, you're smashing it. But why can't you bring that Champions League form into the Premier League? What is going on? So yeah, it's been a crazy weekend in the Premier League. Some phenomenal results. And moving forward, it's going to be phenomenal next weekend to see how Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United bounce back from the kind of results that they've had, and whether or not Tottenham are going to be able to push on against Man United. That's the big game next weekend. Fully expecting Arsenal to keep on this winning run. They are smashing it at the moment. I know they lost in the League Cup, but hey, it's the League Cup, it's a blip. Do Arsenal fans really necessarily care about the League Cup over the Premier League at the moment? I don't think they do. I know Wenger hasn't won it in however long, but still, you'd think right now your main two focuses would be the Premier League and the Champions League. And I honestly reckon this season, Arsenal could come close to winning the Champions League again. I'm going to throw it out there. And I think they will be up there when it comes to the end of the season again. At the moment, I'm not going to say you guys are going to finish fourth. Obviously, that's just default, really, to say Arsenal are going to finish fourth. But at the moment, with the way Sanchez is playing, as good as Arsenal are, I honestly reckon you guys are going to really, really challenge. And yeah, Liverpool just need to get Matip and Coutinho back. So yeah, that pretty much sums up all of the major weekend's action from the Premier League. Please let me know in the comments below, what were your major talking points from the weekend? Obviously, we saw some absolute belters. So let me know what your favourite goal was from the weekend. Let me know what you think of Aguero's tackle. And let me know what you think some of these results, like the Man City result, like the Tottenham result, like the Man United result, and obviously like the Liverpool-Bournemouth result. Let me know what you think this might mean going forward into the Christmas period. As always, I've been As a Whitnell. I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Please don't forget to subscribe for all things wildlife, adventure and sport. This is As a World.